Hello everyone, Trey Goodwin here. A lot of people have been asking me about school zone speed enforcement cameras, so I decided to make this video. Now, I am an attorney, but this video is not legal advice. If you have received a citation, you should speak to an attorney about the facts and circumstances of your specific case. Now, what is it everyone has been asking? Well, the primary question has been, what is this constitutional issue that everyone is talking about concerning the speed enforcement cameras? It's not about, is school safety important? Clearly it is. It's not about, can the legislature regulate speeding? Clearly it can. Instead, this is about the structure of the speed enforcement camera program. What is important about speed enforcement cameras and their distinction from traditional traffic enforcement lies in how the state or governing jurisdiction establishes its case against the accused. In a traditional traffic stop case, the officer will intercept the driver, make direct contact at the time of the offense, and identify that driver. However, with the cameras, the statute allows the camera to help law enforcement identify a license plate, and from there, the database is used to identify the registered owner. At that point, a citation can be issued to the registered owner, assuming that the registered owner was the driver breaking the speed limit. That is the distinction from traditional traffic stop to camera enforcement. Now, why is that important? It's important because traffic enforcement is quasi-criminal in nature, even though it's often referred to as a civil traffic infraction. Why is that? Because breaking the speed limit is enforced by punishment. Now, that doesn't mean jail time. It doesn't mean incarceration. That's not the test. The question is the government punishing you for breaking the law? With regard to traffic enforcement for speeding, the answer is clearly yes. It is a punishment. It's not a user fee. You can't pay ahead to speed all you want. It is designed to force compliance and punish when you do not comply. That makes it quasi-criminal. That's okay as long as procedural fairness is followed. So with the camera system, the problem becomes that the government does not have to establish in the first instance that the accused was the wrongdoer. Instead, simply by owning a car, you are presumed to have been the wrongdoer, and the burden shifts to you as the accused to come forward with positive proof that you were not driving, and even encourages you to name another suspect. That is why there is a concern about procedural due process with the speed enforcement cameras. Now, a lot of folks have asked me about the McFadden order out of Broward County. That case involved a red light camera. However, the statutory framework for red light cameras is very similar to the school zone speed enforcement cameras. So by analogy, the analysis in the McFadden order can be applied to school zone cameras. Now, that case in Broward County has been appealed to the 4th District, and at this time, the 4th District has not issued any opinion or dealt with the case in substance yet. So, at this point, no one in the state of Florida knows how that appellate court or any appellate court will address the constitutional due process issue with regard to red light cameras or speed enforcement cameras. Also, I think it's important to point out, the Broward order does not mean all cameras are coming down. It does not mean you can simply ignore a citation. However, what it does mean is that someone is looking at the procedural due process concerns with shifting the burden from the government onto the people to prove innocence. That is the fundamental problem in this particular framework. So I hope this has been helpful in explaining why the constitutionality of the speed enforcement cameras has been such a topic in discussion lately. It's an important one because due process is important. So I hope this has helped you understand a little better what the current issue is and where that issue stands in the court system at this time. Thanks for watching.